Howdy folks, in this pre-work we want to look at converting between radians and degrees measurements. So these are the two ways we've discussed measuring an angle. Before we get into that, I just want to review what exactly is a radian measure. Usually students come into the class already knowing degree measurement, and radian measurement's a little less initially intuitive. So let's go ahead and review that. So here I have kind of the picture that's worth 1,000 words for describing this. And we can see here that we have a circle with a radius r, and I sort of wish that the picture stopped right there. There's the radius. That's that distance between the center of the circle and any point along the circle. Okay. Well, now we have an angle here. In this case, it's measured in standard position. It's being opened up this way. And how far is this angle being opened up? The answer is that this angle is being opened up exactly 1 radian. So what makes this angle right here, as opposed to maybe some larger angle, something else, be called 1 radian? And the answer to that question is that if you were to think about traversing along the radial line, you would go a distance of r. That's by definition. We've said that radial distance is r. If you were to then start on the circle at your initial position and start walking along this circle right here, whose radius is r, but you're walking along it, you're going to walk along this, and let me do that in a different color here. You're going to walk along this purple line until the distance that you've walked along it, the technical phrase for that is the arc length, until the arc length, or the distance that you've walked along, matches this green length right here, the length of the radius. So I would think that we could all maybe agree that if I were walking along this circle of radius r and I started at this position and I stopped right here, that I've not yet traveled as far as the radius of that circle. And don't draw this part down, folks, because I'm going to erase it. If I were to walk this far, I think that you would argue that if I started here and walked all the way up to there, that I walked further than the radius of this circle. And so while it's a little bit hard to spot, 1 radian is this distance right here, where at this point on the circle, I have now traversed the same distance along the arc of the circle. The fancy phrase for that is my arc length is r, and that matches the radius of the circle. And when that happens, the angle that I get for that to occur is the angle that we call 1 radian. So I think that always a healthy exercise to work through is to go ahead and ask yourself, how many radians are there in a circle? So let me draw a circle here. I'll try my best. It doesn't always come out well, but we'll try our best here. So here I've sketched a circle, and previously we just said that the angle 1 radian would be this angle right here, roughly. Maybe I should extend out just a little bit further. Roughly this angle right here is 1 radian. Why is that? Even though I've drawn perhaps a different circle, the radial distance right here, the distance between the center and the circle on the x-axis, the positive x-axis, should match this arc length. That may not be perfect, but I'm pretty close to that. So my question to you is, take a guess at how many radians it will take to go all the way around the circle. So I want you to go ahead and write your guess right here. And I'll give you a hint. Let me go ahead and put a second radian on here. So if I were to copy that angle, maybe that would line me up maybe right about there. That's kind of hard to tell. But that would maybe be this second theta would be another radian, and now I've gone 2 radians around the circle. And if I were to go 1 more, I would land right about there. It's important to notice that I did not go exactly half of the circle, and that might jog your memory as to what that answer is. But there's 1 radian right there. So my question is how many radians will it take to go all the way around the circle? So it's certainly more than what we have right now, and I want you to give that guess. So pause the video, guess, and I'll see you in the next problem. So folks, as a reminder, if there are no units listed when we give an angle measure, we assume that we are in radian measure if no angle is listed. Okay, well that about wraps us up for this first video. Let's go ahead and jump into the next video where we're going to look at converting between different measurement units. and we'll see how that works using a process called dimensional analysis. So I'll join you there.